In last week's video, I talked about the one thing that you should be doing in 2023, and that was long form content. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about pretty much the exact opposite thing, and that would be short form content. Welcome back to whatever this is. I am Christian, and if you are confused by what the heck I just said, here's my thought process. And I've been working with real estate agents for long enough to know that you are not all created the same. Some of you will love the long form content idea. Yes, this is my wheelhouse. I love to plan. I love to just sit down and do it all at once. This is great for me. However, I'm also well aware that not every real estate agent is going to work like that. And so maybe short form content and making the videos as you go, so to speak, is probably going to be more your speed. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down some content topics that you can be talking about, where you should be posting them. Then finally, I'm going to sort of give a recap on like the best practices for shooting video. Now, if you watched my last video on long form content, you probably heard me say something along the lines of you needing to basically rethink how you view content in order to turn that content into your content. So what I mean by that, instead of basically just trying to recite whatever piece of content you're grabbing your content from. So if it's like an article or maybe it's like an infographic or whatever, I feel like the gut instinct is to just try and regurgitate and recite exactly what the article is saying, trying not to put your own spin on it. And I'm here to tell you that you need to do not that. The first thing I would start off saying is what exactly you're going to be talking about. So whether that's like the first line in the video or just when you're ready to get into talking about it, the first line should be pretty much the highlight, the header of whatever the heck you're going to be talking about, and maybe give a quick little background, maybe give some stats about if there are any, just so like you can sort of give the viewer some background information about the rest of the video, which will then hopefully be your thoughts on whatever the stats, the information is. So in a more coherent sentence, you're going to want to sort of give them a recap about what the heck you read or watched or learned, whatever. And then, so like that'll be like the first 25% of the video. And then the remaining 75% of the video should be your thoughts on whatever the first 25% was, right? So you give them a recap and then you give them your thoughts on whatever this is over here. I think you're following me on that one. So diving right into what sort of short form content should you be making. Again, if you have watched any of my videos in the past on videos, I'm not going to be reinventing the wheel here. I'm pretty much just going to be giving you the three main areas that I think you should be focusing on video. The first one starting out is being stories. I don't really care what app you are using. If it is Facebook, if you predominantly use Instagram, it doesn't matter. You can, if you are on TikTok, you can throw those up on TikTok as like an actual video. But basically, stories, in my opinion, should not be content heavy is how I would describe it. So basically, I would be using stories if I was a real estate agent in your position watching this video. I would be using stories essentially just to show off my day-to-day life as a real estate agent. Now, you can show as much or as little as you want. There are no rules. The whole point with stories is essentially just to convey to the viewer that you are a normal human being and that you are relatable. That's kind of the whole like subliminal message here. You're trying to gain trust because again, everybody knows that you are a real estate agent if they are following any one of your pages. I guarantee you do not have to tell them, they know. So they basically just want to see that you are a human and that you and the viewer have things in common, that you're relatable. Now, next up, we have the market update, which gets hand delivered to your inbox once a month. As far as how you should be going about this video, basically go back to what I said maybe a minute ago about how you should be breaking down the videos. This is the same concept. Give a recap, essentially, of what the heck the market update is and what it said for the past month, for the upcoming month. Sort of, if there's any stats, pull those out. It does not need to be a monotone script. Hit them with a few key points. And then once you sort of set the background, set the tone, then for the remainder of the video, you can essentially just give your thoughts on the market update. You can be like, oh, well, we didn't have great numbers this month. Here is what I'm thinking, blah, 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 for the future months. Or, just because, again, if they really wanted that information, they can find it. What they really want to know from watching your video is they want to know your thoughts on that information. Again, we need to reframe how we think about what videos are. Instead of just giving them value, give them some value and then give them your thoughts on the value. I'm doing a lot of hand movements. I hope you guys are following me here because it makes sense to me, but there's a 50-50 shot that I just look really Italian with this. And then the last piece that you should be doing a video on is essentially current events. And in today's economy, housing market, stock market, you name it, we have a lot of current events that are going on. And again, same concept. Current event happens, whether it's an article or whatever. Give a quick recap about the current event and then give your thoughts on that current event. I don't think I'm asking too much. I feel like in my head, it feels like this is a very easy and doable, tangible idea. I could be very off base. I don't know. So those are pretty much the 3 pieces of content that I would be focusing on if I was a real estate agent. Just to jog your memory, we have stories, we have the market update, and then we have current events. There's no need to bite off more than you can chew, especially if you are just getting started. If you try and take on too many video ideas or avenues, that might weigh you down, and which sounds counterintuitive. So keeping it short, keeping it simple is your best way to go when you are starting out. So let's hop right into sort of the best practices of how to create videos. Again, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, I have a plethora of actual videos devoted to this specific topic. So if you want to find those are somewhere on YouTube in the social marketing playlist. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to give you a quick recap. As far as shooting goes, now this doesn't pertain to stories. Stories should be down and dirty. They should be exclusively shot on your phone. There really shouldn't be any external audio. Like, think of truly raw footage just taken straight from your phone. Think of you don't need to overthink the stories. Stories are supposed to be raw. For any other type of content that you're planning on putting out there, yeah, maybe, if you have the means, if you have the space, if you have the equipment, just sort of try and upgrade that quality, as you can see, because you can hopefully tell that this is not being shot on a phone. By no means am I saying go out and buy a $4,000 or $5,000 camera and beautiful lenses and a nice mic and a light. No, that's obviously not what I'm saying. That is very unrealistic. More than likely, 99% of you are going to be shooting all of your videos on your phone. Now, how we light and stage certain videos, that might be different. So again, I'm sitting down. I'm not in front of a window, but it's basically a window. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, I say that the best and easiest light source you have available to you is any window. So basically, you just set yourself up right in front of a window to give yourself a nice natural light. Now again, I am not in front of a window. I have a light box right there, but that's because I have the means to not need to be sitting in front of a window. So as far as lighting goes, that is great, especially now in the winter when we never see the sun. A nice overcast day is going to give you very nice soft shadows on the face, which is great. As far as the audio goes, it gets a little tricky because when you get an external mic like this, you have to plug it into something, and then you have to have some sort of external app that records the audio, and then from there you have to insert that audio onto an editing timeline. It gets, unless you know what you're doing, I'm not going to recommend some sort of USB mic like this. Again, for starters, I would simply just recommend using your phone's mic because more than likely you're not going to be too far away from it, so it should pick up just fine. I would recommend upgrading eventually. Once you've been doing the videos for a minute, you've gotten into a routine, you know that you like doing videos, then yes, then we can talk about upgrading your mic. whether it be just a mic that plugs into your phone, that's probably going to be the easier option. Or if you did want to go the USB mic route, we can always talk about that as well. I feel like I talked a lot, but I also feel like this was a very valuable and informational video. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, I will talk to you guys next video.